Okay, welcome back. This is video 2 on how to create an animation using PowerPoint. We left off at the end of video 1 where we had just introduced our narrator and had our narrator introduce the topic that we would be discussing. In order for me to do an additional slide, I need to add a new slide. So you can either go up to Home and then go to New Slide. And I usually choose a blank slide, but you could choose any format that you wanted. I'm going to add a blank slide. Okay, now something that you might want to do, because in your instructions for making your animation, your narrator needs to give the audience some information about vocabulary that will be used. So for instance, you need to define the word ionic bond. Something that you might do is have your narrator define that for your audience. So I'm going to click on my narrator and I'm just going to copy and paste. So I just right clicked and hit copy, and I'm going to paste my narrator onto my nice new slide, and I'm going to kind of scoot it over into the corner there. You can add in other shapes so that you can maybe have your definition in a box. So I'm going to choose to add in a rectangle, but you could choose any shape that you wanted to. So I'm going to draw this in here. Again, it's coming up in blue. I don't want it in blue, so I'm going to right click on it, go to Format Shape, and then you can choose any color that you want. I'm going to go with a white background, and my line color will be black. And then in this box, you could type the definition for ionic bond that you find in your textbook. Again, if you go to type and your words aren't showing up, you just click on Home and just make sure you've clicked on your text color, and then you shouldn't have a problem with it coming up. Okay, so you would look up the ionic bond definition in your textbook and then type it there. Now your narrator can add to this definition and help clarify the information for your audience, because when you get a definition from the textbook, a lot of times they use a lot of big science words that your audience might not be familiar with. So I'm going to have my narrator here add to the conversation. So I'm going to have Greg say something. So again, I'm going to go up to Insert, Shapes, and I want a word bubble. And you could choose any shape or size that you want. I'm just going to stick with the round one. Okay, again, it's coming up blue. So you would just go to Format Shape, change your fill color and your line color. Make sure my arrow is pointing at Greg, since he's going to be the one talking first. And then I'm going to edit my text. Again, my text isn't showing up, so I just need to come to the Home tab and hit my text color button. Alright, so I have Greg clarifying the definition. He says, so in an ionic bond, atoms give up or take extra electrons in order to have a full outer orbital. I might also have Ruby or Penny say something in response to Greg here. So I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste this word bubble, since it's already formatted for me. And I'm going to have Penny say something here. Now, in order to have room for everything, you might have to move things around as you go. Alright, so Penny might respond to Greg And Penny's giving some additional information saying that a outer orbital makes for a very happy atom. And you could continue and have Ruby add to the conversation if you wanted to at this point. Now, I need to animate this because right now my bubbles are just going to pop up all at once, and I don't want that. I want it to look like a conversation. So I could animate the box that has the definition, and again, this is already up, but if you didn't have it up here, I'll close it so we can see where we find it. You just go to the Animations tab, and you click on Custom Animation, and it brings it back up, and you can add in an effect. So maybe I will have that come in with blinds. Okay, give it something a little bit fancier. Then I want Greg's word bubble to pop up. So you want to make sure that you animate them in the order that you want them to appear on your screen. So I'm just going to go with appear because I think it makes it nice and easy. But you could choose anything you wanted to. Alright, now, again, these are coming in on the mouse click, which is what this little mouse in the picture there stands for. I don't want them to come in on the mouse click because this is in an animation, not a slideshow. So I'm going to start by working with my first box here. You're going to click Start After Previous, and you're going to go into Timing. And again, you want anything from about 2 seconds to 5 seconds. So I'm going to go ahead and just for right now leave it at 3 seconds. Once you view your PowerPoint, your animation, you might change that. That might be too fast or too slow, but you're only going to know that as you watch it go across your screen. So then I need to animate Greg's bubble here because he's coming in second. So again, Start After Previous. And this I might delay up to 5 seconds because the audience needs time to read that definition. And then finally I'm going to do the same thing with Penny's bubble. And maybe I'll go with 4 seconds there. Again, the timing is going to be up to you. If you think it's too fast or too slow, just go back in after viewing your animation and fix it. It's an easy fix. But you do want to make sure that your audience has time to read it. When you are showing us your animation in class, we want to be able to understand everything that you spent time putting in there. Alright, so you would continue this process for all of the definitions and explanations in your PowerPoint. This is essentially a cartoon, so again, make it fun and entertaining while you're teaching us all about chemical bonds. Alright, so next we need to discuss how to animate electrons being gained or lost because you are making ions. And in order to make an ion, you need to have electrons moving around. So I'm going to go to Home, and I'm going to add another slide. And for this one, I'm going to go ahead and draw an atom. So for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to draw a lithium atom. Now lithium is number 3 on the periodic table, so its atomic number is 3. So I know that that tells me I need 3 protons and 3 electrons. So I'm going to go ahead and go in, and if I have 3 electrons, I know that I need 2 orbitals. So I need 2 circles. So I'm going to draw a circle. Now, I could just eyeball it and say that that's a good circle, but it looks a little ovalish to me. So I'm going to go up here to the Format tab. Over here, it tells me exactly how tall and exactly how wide my circle is. So you can see that it's a little bit taller than it is wide. And for a perfect circle, we want those to be the same because you want your diameter of your circle the same all the way across. So I'm going to go ahead and make this 4 inches tall and 4 inches wide. Now I have my perfect circle, but I don't want it blue. So I'm going to go ahead and right click and go to Format Shape, and this time I don't need a filler. And I'm going to go ahead and leave my line color blue. I think that's going to work out fine for this. So there's one orbital. Now my second orbital, I'm just going to right click, I'm going to copy, right click, paste my circle, but I need this circle to be either smaller or bigger. I'm going to make this my inner orbital, so I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. So I'm going to go 3 inches by 3 inches. and then move it around the screen. Now I can move things by either grabbing them and moving them or using the arrow keys on my board. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good for my orbitals. Now I also know that I need 3 protons. So I'm going to go back to Insert, and again I'm going to grab a little circle, and I'm going to make a proton. I know protons go in the nucleus of my atom, so I'm going to format this and make it a color. I'm going to go with these, give you all sorts of different colors, but I want more colors because I want a specific dark orange. Okay, that's going to be my proton. So I'm just going to copy that, and I know that I need 3, so I'm going to paste it twice. And then using the periodic table, I'm also going to be able to figure out how many neutrons I need in my nucleus. So I'm going to paste one more circle, but I can't have that be orange because orange is for my protons. So I have to go back and format the shape. And maybe I'll go with purple for neutrons. Okay, now when I did the math, I know that I need 4 neutrons. So I'm going to copy and paste my purple circle so that I have 4 of them. Alright, that works for the nucleus of my atom. Now I need to add in my electrons. So again, I'm going to go in and draw a circle. And electrons are the smallest particle, so I want them to appear very small. That one might be too small. Let me go in and add another one. Okay, so I want them nice and small. Again, I don't want them blue, so I'm going to come in here and pick a color. Maybe I'll do pink. And I know that I need 3, so I'm going to copy and paste it so that I have 3. And then put them on my orbitals. So I know I can have 2 on my first orbital. And then I have 1 valence electron, or 1 electron on my outer orbital. Okay, there's an atom of lithium. Now I want to show this electron being lost. Lithium wants to get rid of this electron so that it's happy, because then it has a full outer circle, or full outer orbital with 2 electrons. So it wants to get rid of this, so it's going to actively try and get rid of it. So I need to show that electron leaving so that the lithium atom can become an ion. In order to do that, you are going to duplicate this slide. You're going to duplicate it several times. So again, I just right-click and hit duplicate. When you're showing something moving across the screen, the key is to have several slides and use small movements. So this slide, slide number 6, shows my lithium atom. Slide number 7, I'm going to move this little electron a little bit so it starts to move off of that outer orbital. Slide 8, I'm going to move it a little bit more. Slide 9, I'm going to move it even more. Slide 10, again, even further. And then maybe I'll duplicate it one more time so that I can, on slide 11, move it right off the screen or almost off the screen. Okay, we're going to pick up with this in video 3, so please stay tuned for that. And we're going to show you, you have to go back in and time your slides so that you can see the electron moving across.